Welcome back to ecoGirl Chat, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. I am very excited to be joining you today with Jen and Lesley. And we have a very exciting guest with us today. Uta, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Uta. I'm CEO of DocuWare and I'm general manager of our subsidiary in Beacon. On a private basis, I'm a mom of 4. Maybe that is also of interest. And I'm really happy to be here. So thank you for your invitation.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you for joining us. I have a question for you. How did you get into this industry?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, Lesley. And I think for me it started all that I was always interested in science, to be honest. So yeah, I like to do math, and when I graduated from high school, I was like, okay, so what comes next? And just because I was used to all these subjects that I had in school, I decided, okay, let's study math. So I'm one of those who chose math as a major, and I did my master's there. And there was this point in time where I thought, okay, it needs to be a little more applied. So applied mathematics, and I started to get in touch with coding, and I really liked this. So my early career, really, I started as a software engineer. I worked for IBM several years. And that was my big jump into the IT industry, indeed. Mm-hmm.
That is
but I have to
impressive.
Say, this is, but
Yes.
From my own experience, if people now watch and say, oh my God, I don't like math, now I can stop listening, that's not what I say. So it was, for me, it was something I really liked. That's what I always tell my kids. Do what you like. If you like something, you will be great at that. And then at a later point in time, you will see which industry is the best for you. And you don't need to have a necessary, like a science background for the IT industry. But for me, I was one of those indeed with some sort of science background, yes.
Well, that's cool that you blended that technology with applying it to real world situations, and now you have not only the technical side of things, but the people engagement and that side of things as well. I have a question for you. I had the pleasure of attending DocuWorld earlier this year, and I had the opportunity to see your presentation on stage, and just as casual and as integral to the presentation was your conversation about the home work-life balance and your kids and how you keep them engaged and challenge them, and so kind of just share with us a little bit that work-life balance for you and where you're at with life right now.
Yeah, I think that is a topic for pretty much every mother, right? So that is the question we are all struggling with, and I think for me personally, I'm one of those. The big kudos here goes out to my husband. We are a great teamwork. So he's also in an upper management position, but we always try to share everything that needs to be done at home. And it's really like this, okay, we love our job, and we love our family. So how can we kind of bring this all together? And I can tell you, as a mom of 4, there is some craziness sometimes. This is for sure. Nothing goes as planned. So you have, of course, it is all about a lot of planning and organization, and you have the day perfectly lined out. And then in the morning, the kids is throwing up, and the other one is a high fever. And like, okay, now I start all over again. So you have to stay a little flexible, I'd say, in life, to juggle around. But like in my many years of my professional experience, I always were very lucky. I had always employers who accepted even part-time while the kids were little, and I could still follow up my career inspirations. Also, I never got any negative feedback if I had to call in and say, okay, yeah, my kid is sick, I cannot come, something happened, I have to, reschedule appointments, workshops even. Things happen in life. And I have to say, that's life. And I hope many listening today who are in a management position these poor women, they just struggle, and just, help them and accept it and be a little more flexible, and then it all works out fine in the end.
I'm going to share this on LinkedIn, so hopefully it has a huge reach to management teams for more flexibility. But speaking of flexibility, when things aren't flexible, is there a life lesson that you had to learn the hard way?
Well, I think, believe it or not, but I was a lot more shy when I was younger and started my early career. I told you that I started as a software engineer, and back then it was a very male dominated area. So I had many meetings where I was the only woman at the table, and we had like deep technical talks, and I used to be very shy. So whenever I had questions, I did not ask these questions. I just took them with me. I tried to figure it out by myself. It cost me a lot of time, and sometimes I even came up with incorrect answers because, if you try to figure it out yourself because you were too shy to ask. But over the time, I learned there are no stupid questions. And it was totally in my head that I thought I would kind of like lose respect because I'm asking questions, which is really not the case. So meanwhile, I'm asking questions still in every single meeting when I do not understand anything, because the people are happy to teach me, and that brings me forward, right? And it saves a lot of time. And I never got like a negative, oh, why don't you know that? No, that's not the case. But it was just in me. So I had to learn it the hard way. And this is something I would always tell others if they approach me. I say, ask questions, dare to ask your questions. And and this is what brings you forward at the end.
Yeah, find your voice.
I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people, that the hesitancy to ask questions because you don't want to look foolish or like you're not knowledgeable, but in reality, asking questions gives you more credibility that you're learning and growing and understanding.
Absolutely. Yeah,
agreed.
100%.
Absolutely.
Ladies, does that remind you at ecoprintQ, like our culture here, I understand, is so different than so many others, that we're so lucky for the team that we have. But when we're on big like group training sessions, we ask nonstop questions. And a lot of us start with, this is probably a stupid question, but, and then like Jodi will ask a question. I'm like, I had the same question too. So luckily we're in a really nice environment where we can support each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the experience I also made. The minute I asked the question, there are a lot of, males around me, like all these men saying, oh yeah, I didn't understand it either. And like, good. Yes.
Relief. You're like, and they, they're
I'm not
relief.
stupid. I'm not stupid. It's always this, this image you have in your head. And and
the male versus female perspective too. So there you go. You were the only female. You were scared to ask because you thought people would view you differently, but it was all men, and maybe they felt too intimidated to ask because they didn't want to be a weak link, or I'm trying to think of what, so all of us feel that
everyone, way. All of us feel the same way. It was just in my head, and I really had to learn it the hard way, as you asked.
It's like you're a new person now.
Yes.
I'm not shy anymore.
Right?
Uta, we always ask this question in all of our interviews. Who or what inspires you?
That's an easy question for me, because I really have to say all my kids inspire me every single day. It's just their way of asking questions, their way of like everything is easy and everything is, is laid out for them, and it's their optimism they have and like daily. And we always think that we have to teach our kids, but it's the opposite. Like they are teaching us. When I used to be so structured, always in a negative way almost, but now I learned that sometimes it is important to watch ladybugs running around for another minute or 2 or 5. And the dentist is still there, even though you thought, we have to go, we have an appointment. But yeah, everything is fine, and you have to, change your focus here and there. And I think that, I learned a lot through my kids. I still do. I'm happy to still do so. And that is my inspiration every single day.
How old are
I
your
love that.
kids? Yeah, I'm curious of the range.
My youngest, meanwhile, is 12. My oldest is 21. So, and I have a 13-year-old in between and a 19-year-old in between. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so you had a little guy and a teenager at the same time. Right?
Yeah.
You had a big range.
Yeah. It's never boring at home, I can tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
as a mother, I appreciate that answer for sure. It's this next generation is definitely teaching a lot of the other generations, and I'll say older generations. We're learning a lot from the children of today, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Definitely gives us a different perspective and eyes wide open type of thing to kind of take all of that in and learn from it and help them at the same time. I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And especially, like, I was always a little hectic, and people ask me, aren't you so stressed with 4 kids? And I can tell them, no, because I have the 4 kids, I'm not that stressed anymore, because you really you get your lesson that sometimes calming down and focusing on what they want to do right now, or how they, observe the world in that minute, that, slows you down again. And it's almost relaxing. Not every day, I admit. Sometimes there is more chaos and it is stressful. But in the long run, I learned a real lot, a big lesson, yeah.
You know what that reminds me of is, girls, when we've done yoga together before, and like the be present and the mindfulness of like be in the moment. And I think like, our careers as we work every day, we're like, what do we have to do next week? What's on the horizon? What are we focusing on next? It's like always next. And it just is the nature of the game. Right. And so, I think it is. I try to do the be present, like looking at the ladybugs that like hit close to home for me. Where I'm like, I know sometimes, you gotta be present and be in the moment more.
Yeah, that's a wonderful picture. Jennifer, that is a wonderful picture. Our kids are our yoga lessons.
Yeah, right. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
They remind you to be present. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I forgot whose turn it was to do what here. Well, thank you so much, Uta, for sharing with us, and hopefully this will really resonate with those that get the opportunity to see this. And bye for now, and keep an eye out for our next. We do have a couple of more ecoGirl chats coming out, so stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Uta.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.